Hello, my name is Frances Fox. I'm a trained remote viewer. I have a university degree in political science, but what I bring to the table here is my psychic skills, my ability to be able to see into the other dimensions through remote viewing, through being a clairvoyant, my ability to understand what's happening in the other dimensions having to do with being claircognizant, which is an instantaneous knowing that comes from the heart center. The Greeks called it intelligence of the heart, my ability to be able to hear and speak to spirits, my ability of interspecies communication, where I could talk to an animal, an alien, or the wall. Or I can perceive what your teeth are thinking. Everything that is alive at some level has consciousness. We're going to learn a lot about that now that medicine has woken up to the fact that we have parasites that are trying to take us down. Those parasites are spirits. Did you know that cancer cells wake up at night and reproduce more quickly? Well, you can only wake up at night and reproduce more quickly if there's a consciousness there that makes that decision. And that's exactly what spirits do. They bother more at night. That's why sometimes you're kids and you have a hard time sleeping. But that is not the topic today. The topic today is politics and spirituality. But the truth of the matter is that after thinking about it, the title really needs to be Shamanism and Politics. Because what I'm going to tell you now, which is an incredible achievement, has to do with shamanism, which is spirituality, working with the other dimensions. Shamanism is, Jesus Christ was a shaman. You work with spirits and with the elements. You remove spirits, because if you don't do that, it's like somebody sticks a knife in you, you go to the doctor and say, fix me. And the doctor says, I'll take the knife out. No, just ignore that, just fix me. Well, you know what? That actually doesn't work. But that's what we do when we're sick. Fix me. And the spirits are still there, which include parasites. So, what am I talking about? 55 years ago, and I referred to this yesterday. 55 years ago, I was at the university, finished my degree in political science, was going into my master's. My thesis was going to be very interesting, the spirits. I need to go get the name of my thesis because it has slipped my mind. Give me a second. We're not going to let bad energies or my exhaustion stop me from giving this wonderful information to you, which you can apply to your home. My thesis name was Institutionalized Violence as a Form of Governmental Change, and it was supposed to be about Latin America. 55 years ago. I haven't remembered that in decades until I started working with Venezuela. And yesterday I realized that my Fox protocols for graceful transition of power in Venezuela is my response to this thesis, which I never did 55 years ago. So all of you should look at your lives because there are clues every step of the way as to what it is that you decided you wanted to accomplish in this incarnation to help other people. So, what am I talking about? I guess it was 2 or 3 years ago when Trump was impeached, or maybe it was longer than that. They had impeachment trials, and there was a lot of emotional violence. And the Mantrista movement, the group that I lead, we went to Washington, D.C. mentally, astral travel, and there was so much fire under Washington, D.C. And I said, we've got to reduce this fire because when there's that much of the fire element, people get crazy. When your kids are on the cell phone too long, their computers, the computer games, they can get really cranky. Okay, so we went ahead and we worked on reducing the fire element underneath the city of Washington, D.C. And we did. We felt we had accomplished it. And I said, you know what the shame is? We're never going to know whether we really made a difference, but we did it. And that's what we wanted to do, and we did it. Okay. Monday, the impeachment trial continued. The man that was running it, I don't remember his name, fell asleep during the trial. Well, there's my proof. And you're saying, what's it got to do with it? When insomnia started to become a problem on the planet, it was because of an augmentation of the fire element on the planet. When you have too much fire, it gives you too much vitality. And then you can't turn it off to go to sleep. So we turned off the extra fire, and whoever it is that was running the impeachment was exhausted, as we all are, which we should not be, but we are. And he fell asleep during his own trial when he was taking somebody and was gleeful about trying to take Trump down. So we don't get involved in politics because that's endless and that's dumb. We work at the causal level, and we did achieve that. But I thought, you know what? This isn't going to make any difference because nobody's going to believe it. Okay, fast forward to now. We have Venezuela. 2018, the Dolphins told us that Venezuela was very important for the future. That whatever the path Venezuela was on and where it ended up was going to have everything to do with the path that Latin America was going to be on. We needed to look at Mexico also because the path that Mexico was on was going to be the path the United States was going to be on. Ha, 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 ha. We're not going to deal with that right now. So we have worked since 2018 diligently on, in the other dimensions, working with Venezuela. So then we get these elections. So I set up the mantra. Okay, here's the mantra. Please, God, help us with our intention that the elections be, I think, graceful and fair. So the elections ended. Maduro lost. Apparently, there seems to be universal agreement that he lost. The numbers were out there. There doesn't seem to be any question. And of course, he doesn't want to let go of power. And 2 days ago, there started to be unrest and confrontations between the government and the people. So I said, we have to change the mantra. The mantra needs to change to that there be an elegant transition, because obviously there's going to be a transition. Okay. And for the last 2 nights, we've been getting together and working on whatever it felt like we needed to work on, which ended up being reducing the fire, because you can't have violence unless there's too much fire. Okay. And we ended up having to work on the land because the land was holding a lot of the depression and exhaustion and grief that the Venezuelans have had to suffer under for several years. They don't have air conditioning a lot of the time. They don't have internet. They can't count on internet or the air conditioning or electricity. That's really frustrating. In addition to being exhausting to not have air conditioning, etc. So we worked on that, and it was really good. And we took part of our SWAT team are the Medusas, which are the Medusas, the pink ones. And even science has said that that particular marine animal is a consciousness that's from off planet. Ah, well. So we work with them. They are a consciousness from off planet. They're aliens, and they have the strings, mind strings. Okay. So we work with them, and I said, send the Medusa, the pink Medusas, to the whole land of Venezuela. Send it to particularly those people that are very violent, which could be the young people that want to protest, could be Maduro, could be whoever. And that will reduce their fire, and it also augments the energy of love. We did that, and we've done it several times. Last night, I think the night before was 2 hours. Last night, it was an hour and something, and it was several hundred people, and like 4,000 or 5,000 people have seen it so far, which I know are not big numbers, but you don't need big numbers. So today, I'm like, okay, let's see what's going to happen here. I get up on X, which is where I get my news. Everything's quiet. Not only that, but Maduro, they say he is looking so weird, he must be medicated. He's not violent. He's not angry. He's almost falling asleep. Well, that's what happened to the guy on Monday. I think it was the second week of the Trump impeachment trials, because we reduced the fire. And if you don't have the fire, you're not all fired up. And then you are playing out your real energies, which in terms of Maduro has got to be a massive depression, the rejection. In terms of the numbers of the election, he's got to feel really bad about himself and his people. and wondering how he can stay in power, which I suspect he will not be able to. So we are very pleased that we applied the principles of shamanism, which are the principles of Ayurvedic medicine and of Chinese medicine, to politics, to an entire country. So you go, well, how did you do that for the whole country? Well, in the Bible, it says you just need what? A grain of faith and you can move a mountain. That is actually true in the other dimensions. What happens when you're working in the other dimensions is that intention is everything. So if your intention is to reduce the fire in a country, you're going to be reducing the fire in that country if you can keep your focus, etc. You don't go inch by inch by inch, because in the other dimensions, there are not those kind of measurements. There's no inches, there's no miles, there's no time. So it's like confusing, but it's also wonderful. You can, if you keep your focus and you have the intention, you can go up against whatever enemy and you can win. If you keep your focus, you have an intention and you keep it. And it's your real intention, because you can have a subconscious intention that can sabotage, such as, I'm afraid of what I'm doing. I don't want to get hurt. So I intend on this, but I don't want to get hurt. And that I don't want to get hurt becomes strong within, I want this. And then you don't get what you're looking for, because your other intention to be safe is stronger than your intention to win. In this case, we didn't have that issue. When we got together, which was with the Mantrista movement group, which are, we've already been trained. And then we had a lot of new people from Venezuela, and they have a different type of spirituality, not a different type. They emphasize affirmations, and affirmations are great. But affirmations are on top of the crap underneath that is what's giving trouble. So if you're really violent and you put an affirmation on top of that, everything is fine. You didn't take care of the underlying. So we went ahead and said, you guys do your affirmations fine, but here when we get together, we're going to do the mantras and the visualizations. We're calling in the SWAT team, which means the people, the beings that help us in other dimensions, which are dolphins, the virgins, the Medusas, Anubis, Osiris. It depends. We call in certain ones and certain ones just show up. Now, we're not playing games. I'm not a dummy. I'm not trying to sell you a religion. This is not new. Shamanism is not new. It's the oldest medicine on the planet. It's based on rules, laws, realities of human beings and planet Earth. And what we did was we applied it to things that it's never applied to. We didn't touch anybody. It has nothing to do with politics. We weren't looking for a particular outcome, because honestly, every country should exercise their free will. What we did was we made it to where it's easier for the truth to come out, which is that the fire was keeping the nice guys plastered to the floor from exhaustion because they weren't able to play out their fire. Venezuelans are mainly angelic consciousness, so they wouldn't be that aggressive anyway, because it's not part of their quality of consciousness. And so whoever's angry over there, if you reduce the fire, they don't have that gasoline that could turn them violent. What we did was we balanced out the elements, and it worked. Look at the news today compared to the news yesterday and the news the day before. Now, what is going to happen ultimately? I don't know. We have to keep working to keep balancing out those elements to make sure that there's not too much fire, to send the Medusas to the people that have wicked intentions. We don't need to know who they are. We just need to intend that those people that would be enemies of Venezuelans exercising their free will, that their fire be reduced and that they kind of like wake up. I'm very pleased with myself. 55 years ago, I determined I wanted to understand institutionalized violence as a form of governmental change. I never did that, but now I did this. We accomplished something incredible. It's not over with, But the interesting part is that this is the same issue in the United States: election integrity. And both sides are so angry. I mean, I know what side I'm on, but that's not what's really important. What's really important is that the truth be able to play out. And it can't play out when you have an awful lot of people that are so angry that they are willing to break the rules or do things that are not right in order to get their way. And then you have a lot of the nice people so exhausted they don't have the ability to vitalize their intentions. So we're going to start working on the United States also having to do with election integrity. I have to tell you that if we had not worked on the Trump impeachment trial, was it 2 years ago, 4 years ago? I don't know. Time is, for a person who's a psychic, time is like really very iffy. Keeping appointments and knowing what day of the month, etc., is really iffy because we work where there is no time, where time is not a factor. So I don't know how long ago that was, but if we hadn't done that, I would not be able to express with such confidence what it is that we have achieved in the last several days. And I'm talking I'm talking a group of people. I'm not talking me. I did not do that. I guided them and I worked on it, but I'm talking about a group of people. But these are people, just regular people. Some of them are professionals and some of them wash their clothes by a river. But they have been trained and they have the discipline, most of them, not all of them. The Venezuelans are new to this, to keep their focus on the intention, and they understand. Every time somebody puts a political comment on how god awful, whatever, I go, no, 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 no. We are not going there. We are not discussing politics. First place, I'm not allowed to be involved in politics because I was trained as a psychic spy by the US government. I cannot get involved in that, and I'm not involved in that. I'm involved in leveling the playing field for everybody. It's not against the bad guy. It's not that the bad guy has more power and the good guys don't. I'll tell you what's going on. The bad guys have a lot of anger. They have these focused intentions, and too many good people are just too tired and they've lost faith, especially if they're not in power, which I suspect is what happened to the Republicans. They've lost faith. They feel helpless. That's got to end. Then you can do the little telegram mantra that we did yesterday and send I trust, I trust, I trust, to the top of your head and augment that. So I wanted to share the fact that I achieved something that I set as an intention and I was not aware of it 55 years ago. Why on earth would a person who's a Cancer want to figure out institutionalized violence as a form of government change? I didn't know. I just was. That's the way we all live our lives. I'm not the only one. You all live your lives like that. I want to do this. I want to do this. Why do you want to do that? I don't know. You just feel like I'm just what I'm supposed to be doing. We have a part of us that knows everything about us, a part of us, not outside of us. We also have spirits that know all about us. We have a part of us that knows everything, and we're not integrated. And we need to integrate with that part of us because our life will make more sense to ourselves and to others. And I think it's going to be easier. Okay. That's the process of evolution. We're all working on it. Okay. We're moving forward. So, shamanism and politics. It works. Is it going to put your party in power? I'm not saying that because I'm not talking politics. That type of politics. I'm talking about baseline. This country is too frustrated. New York City formed a new fault line after 9/11 because they were too angry and they didn't process it. We have a volcano potentially in the center of the United States that could erupt if we continue to be as frustrated. We have worked a lot, by the way, on the fire in the United States, a lot. And we feel it made a difference, but we're not sure. But the thing with what happened in Venezuela and where it's at today, tomorrow could be totally different. That's why we're going to continue to work. What happened with the Trump impeachment trial, where that man, the guy who ran the trial and was foaming at the mouth from the level of hatred that he had for Trump, and he falls asleep. You cannot fall asleep when you're a raging maniac. He wasn't a raging maniac any longer because we reduced the fire of his environment. We didn't even work on him. At that point, we didn't know about the Medusas and we didn't know a lot of things that we know today. We reduced the fire underneath Washington, D.C. I guess we need to go back and do that a lot between now and the elections. But anyway, I wanted to share our joy in what we have not just accomplished, but what we have understood that now we can apply. And that applies to your home also. So let's go back to consciousness. Cancer cells wake up at night and reproduce more quickly, according to scientists, according to studies in hospitals. And we did a little video on that a couple years ago. I'm going to bring it back up again so that you can see it and you can get the references and look it up. So now the big thing in health is parasites. So I haven't really talked about it a lot here, but we discovered that the movie Matrix was trying to tell us that we have tubes implanted in us. And I thought it was simply in our heads and our necks, because I've been taking care of this stuff that comes in. I didn't realize it was through a tube, basically above and behind the left ear. I actually charged $300 to close that. And the minute I close it, the person's life changes totally. And it's usually people that have addictions and people that are out of control. Da, 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 da. Okay. Turns out we have implants all over the place. Oh my God. I am overwhelmed with what it is that people have that is holding them from being everything that they can be and that they should be. And I found out in one of my investigations, in terms of the implants in the feet, that the bad aliens that put in those implants really emphasized the left leg and left foot, right leg and right foot, because that's the leg and foot that channels male energy of power in everybody, whether you're male or female. I'm overwhelmed. But the good news is that we are finding out about parasites, because that's a type of parasite, even though they're tubes that can be this thick. Then you have the parasites in the mold that's in front of your front door from the rain. And then you have the parasites that you have inside of you that ivermectin takes care of, and it's miraculous. And then you have cancer cells that wake up and reproduce more at night. And the whole parasite thing is really big. So I'm going to be finding out what we need to know about that to make maybe the process of defending ourselves or eliminating them more easily. And then today I found this, which is that there's a series starting in August about parasites. And basically that's what it looks like. What it is that I cut for $20 and $30 looks like this. It's not quite as thick where it connects to you, and it's not quite as thin further down. It's kind of like an equal width. It's like a hose, like a garden hose, like in the Matrix. But you have a lot of them. You have a lot of them. So this is a science fiction series based on reality. And the good news is that we have found it. The bad news is that it's extremely depressing because it's overwhelming. So that is not all the news that's fit to print, but all the news that I'm going to be giving you today. I'm going to put up the link for the page that we did on Venezuela, which we are very proud of. And it is Fox Protocols for Venezuela. So that there will be, and it's a spiritual protocol. And I'm wondering whether we should just simply call it shamanism, maybe because that's so acceptable. And then I'll go ahead and I will start dressing in long white robes and wear these, not this necklace, but many necklaces, and say I'm a shaman. I am a shaman, but you don't need to wear the white robes and you don't need to play those games. It's a question of understanding the basics of what health is, whether it's the planet, your country, your body, or your home. And that is the balance of the four elements of earth, water, fire, and air. I am exhausted. And you would be too if you were dealing with all of these things, and all these discoveries are wonderful, but it really is a bit overwhelming. Okay, we are going to go ahead and go into a mantra. What are we doing now that you can expect from us? That music for the teeth is finished, and the video is almost finished also. So you're going to be able to, I would say, within the next 7 days. I want to remind you that when I heard the music, the composer, Mateo Cuaron, said he had had a very unusual experience when he was doing the music because it really changes you very quickly. When I played it the first time, I could see my teeth, the music. I asked him to do a music composition with the sound that it is said helps to repair your teeth. How can that be? Well, I don't know, but it is. So he sends it to me. I put it on, and I could hear my teeth. I could hear their thinking, and they were looking for calcium in order to rebuild my teeth. Now, if I'm going to make that up, I would definitely not make that up. I wouldn't even think about that. Of course, you would need more calcium, but I would not think about that. And it also, that particular music helps to repair sexual abuse issues, to release it from your tissue, and who knows what else. So we're at a time in which magic is going to be at our fingertips. And one of the things that's going to stop us from accepting it and learning how to use magic and be magical is our belief system. Like, how can your teeth be thinking, where are we going to get calcium to repair now that we have this musical notes, whatever, to help us or stimulate us? It's our belief systems. And I absolutely understand that, because too many times things come up and I go, this is not possible. I can't be seeing this. I can't be doing this. It's not possible. But I have trained myself to honor what it is I feel and I see, even though there's a part of me that's kicking and screaming and saying, don't say that, because that can't possibly be true. How can that be that your teeth are thinking where they can get the calcium to rebuild? Why would I lie? And if I'm going to lie, why would I say that? But I wasn't the person that said it first. It was all these people that are specialists in music and sound. So we're in a very exciting time, and you should stay connected with us, because we are definitely going to be able to give you a lot of information that practically nobody else will be able to give you. And not all of it is because I'm so great at what I do. A lot of it is because I don't have to worry about the ethics committee of wherever I got my degree from slapping me down because I said something that 6 other universities haven't backed up. I can just tell you what it is that I see, what it is that I find, what it is that I can see that works. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm not wrong that often, but I don't have to worry about the peer group, which really holds back science. And because I know my accuracy, because so many years, decades, and people checking to see how accurate I am, to see if they can rely on, etc., I can share with you things that you're going to get a lot earlier than other places, such as the thing with the teeth. You're going to find out, because I think soon it will be all over the place, that there are sounds that can help repair teeth. But I'm not sure how many other people can tell you what it is that's actually going to be going on as a reaction to the stimulation of that frequency. This is very exciting times to be around. So we're going to go back to the whole now in this part of our get together, the mantra that has to do with accepting being a master, because we definitely have entered the age of Aquarius, and the age in which we can access superpowers that humans have had in different times on the planet. And one of the issues is believing, I actually did that. I can do that. Believing in ourselves. And there's like a truckload of spirits around you that don't want you to trust what you see, what you hear, what you feel, what you intuit. That's what they're there for, to stop you from quickly accessing what is available to us today that hasn't been available. I don't know if it's decades, hundreds of years. Well, it would be hundreds of years, not decades. Now is when superpowers are available to everybody again on the planet. Okay, so we're going to go ahead. I'm going to give you the mantra. And darn, if I never, oh, here we go. And the mantra is, even though I'm afraid to be a master. And that's not the right one. Oh. Let me write it up. I hope Maduro doesn't get upset at me. The only thing we did to him and his people and everybody that would have been violent was to throw Medusas at them and to put them in igloos to reduce their fire and to put them underneath these incredible falls that they have in Venezuela to cool them down. But it wasn't just them, anybody, the young people in the streets, whatever. Okay. They have the little help button right on top of where I type. So there we go. This is a purification mantra. Even though I'm afraid to be a master, I love and accept myself, are the words of this particular purification mantra. We were scheduled and we have entered a time of magic. But our belief system, our lack of trust, us wanting authorities to tell us, oh yeah, you did that. Oh yeah, you're powerful. Oh yeah, you're good. Nope. A university saying it's okay. Nope. Not going to happen. It's you. It's all about you. Okay. So you repeat these words in silence. For those that are listening through podcasts, the words are, even though I'm afraid to be a master, I love and accept myself. And I know that that is true for most people. And I will put on our sensory therapy music in the video that will help to reinforce the changes that this mantra can bring for you. Okay. And then we're going to do 10 minutes and then I'll come back and just say hello, goodbye. So that those that are listening in their cars or in a podcast don't have to worry that I'm going to deliver some incredible information that they're going to lose out on. Because I think it's kind of hard to do this as a session of mantras when you're driving. Give me a second. I'm going to go with the solar plexus, which is where your self-esteem things are. The purification mantra words are, even though I'm afraid to be a master, I love and accept myself. And you repeat it silently. Can you believe that 10 minutes is already up? Somebody is asking if it's okay not to be afraid to be a master. Yes. So then the person that's asking, are you a master? Because those skills are inside of you. If you're not exercising them yet, why are you not exercising them? And even though I felt that this mantra, which was not my idea, the dolphins gave it to me, didn't make any sense. Why would you be afraid to be a master? As time has gone by, I have understood we are afraid to be masters because then we're responsible. We are no longer victims. We can't point our finger at other people and at situations. We are responsible for everything. That is not easy. So we will be back again. And we're going to discuss next, in the next chat, your environment. Because I realized that if we reduced the fire underneath Washington, D.C., and it changed the energies of the impeachment trial, then that is again a reinforcement of the not the concept, but the reality that they call feng shui, which is that your environment is a big part of your destiny and it can totally control your destiny. So we're going to talk about that next, okay? We will see you back again and thank you for joining us.